The American music industry is currently witnessing a tectonic shift, one that has sent shockwaves from the corporate boardrooms of New York to the recording studios of Los Angeles. At the center of this revolution is Jamal Roberts, a former physical education teacher whose unexpected trajectory through a televised talent competition has culminated in an unprecedented financial standoff. Roberts has successfully challenged the traditional business model that, for decades, has relied on the absolute control of master recordings by major record labels. This is not merely a contract negotiation. It is a systemic anomaly that is forcing industry executives to perform an emergency evaluation of their operational strategies. Market analysts are now confirming that Roberts' success in securing full ownership of his creative output has set a precedent that cannot be ignored by the next generation of independent artists. The question we are investigating tonight is this the end of the traditional label era? As Roberts' bargaining position has solidified, our investigative team has uncovered reports of systemic efforts by major labels to restrict the ecosystem for independent artists in a desperate bid to preserve the status quo. There have been consistent reports of friction in global distribution chains and algorithmic content curation that directly impact how new, independent works are introduced to the mainstream market. The industry is currently in a defensive posture where long-standing practices, once considered standard operating procedures, are now being aggressively questioned by the public and the creative community. Instead of pursuing collaborative innovation, we are seeing a trend of competitive restriction, where major labels prioritize the acquisition and retention of intellectual assets over building equitable partnerships. We are seeing a concerted effort to create barriers to entry, making it increasingly difficult for artists who do not adhere to the standard, highly restrictive corporate contracts to gain the reach they deserve. A pivotal element in this changing narrative is the high-profile support of legendary icon Stevie Wonder. This is not simply a matter of celebrity endorsement. It is a calculated act of strategic solidarity that bridges a new generation of talent with more sustainable industry standards. By aligning himself with Roberts, Wonder has essentially provided a protective shield, allowing the young artist to navigate intense corporate pressure with the backing of one of the most respected figures in music history. Observers note that this partnership has fundamentally altered the balance of power in negotiations that, under normal circumstances, would have been overwhelmingly skewed against the creator. This collaboration ensures that Roberts' creative vision remains insulated from external corporate efforts to commoditize his brand without addressing the long-term well-being of the creator himself. It is a masterclass in industry navigation. Beyond the negotiation room, Roberts has demonstrated a sophisticated grasp of modern audience psychology, particularly regarding content retention and platform algorithms. By leveraging specific, high-retention script structures, including meticulously crafted hooks and aggressive metadata optimization, he has maintained consistent dominance in the attention economy. These are not arbitrary marketing tactics. They are a direct, tactical response to a digital environment where human attention is the single most valuable commodity. By synthesizing deeply investigative narratives with precise, data-driven SEO, Roberts has successfully bypassed the traditional, bottlenecked promotional channels that have historically been the only way for new artists to reach a national audience. He is, quite literally, building his own broadcast network in real time, effectively rendering the old gatekeepers obsolete. This revolutionary shift is largely propelled by a fundamental change in American audience behavior. Listeners are no longer satisfied with the curated, opaque public relations campaigns of the past. They are demanding authentic narratives and full transparency regarding the inner workings of the entertainment sector. The intense public interest in figures like Roberts and the dissection of talent competitions like those seen in 2026 prove that audiences are no longer just passive consumers. They are active participants in the creative economy. High audience engagement serves as a form of social capital that major stakeholders can no longer suppress. This trend confirms that radical transparency is now a significantly more effective promotional tool than the traditional closed-door campaigns of the last 30 years. As we assess the long-term implications of this investigation, it is clear that the future of the American music industry will be defined by the ability of artists to maintain sovereign control over their intellectual property. The ongoing projects, including investigative series into vocal competitions and the construction of independent creative hubs, are not temporary reactions. They represent a permanent, new paradigm. By synthesizing expertise in content automation, strategic data management, and authentic narrative building, individuals now possess the agency to dismantle corporate structures that were once deemed invincible. Moving forward, the sustainability of this model will depend on a continued commitment to creative integrity and a proactive response to the rapidly evolving demands of the global market. The era of the all-powerful gatekeeper is over. The future belongs to those who own their story.